you coming here talking about what you got going on, sitting in the mall with the dealers, went to Macy's. I mean, I don't even have $1, okay?
Awesome, guys. Boom, there it is.
Awesome.
Look who we're hanging with.
That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Jason David Frank.
Boom shakalaka.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on, tuning in, clicking over, flipping the switch on, accidentally stumbling across this video, all of those things. Thank you for doing all of that. Remember to come back over and over again. Hit subscribe, get notified whenever we've got a new artist, author, filmmaker, musician, creative mind of any kind. We're here at Pound the Grape in Melbourne, Florida at the Melbourne Square Mall, and we're hanging out right now with comedian and YouTuber Dorian Gayle. Dorian, thanks for hanging with us, man.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So, comedian and YouTuber.
Yes.
So you were sitting at home one day, watching TV.
Right.
You thought, how can I disappoint my mom? And then you said comedy.
Yeah. Although
right.
there's a lot of other ways I disappointed her.
But this was just the one that was the most public.
This was probably top 5.
Top 5? Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
This was top
you
5.
called up and she said, "Hey, what are you gonna do now, man?" And you said, "I'm gonna be a YouTuber."
Yeah. She.
And mom said, "You're gonna be a what?"
Yeah.
Right now she's Googling. She's trying to figure out what that is.
Oh yeah.
And how many times you'll be arrested for it. Because she has no idea, right? Because
No
I know.
idea. No earthly idea.
When we started this show, I went home and I had videos that I'd done interviews with.
Right.
And I didn't know what to do with them. And my son said to me, "Dad, put it on YouTube." And naturally I said, "You what? What'd you call me?" And that's how I got here. So, welcome to the Hangin With Web Show.
Welcome.
And yes, so.
YouTubers.
Yes, united on one stage.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to put links down below so you can find Dorian's YouTube channel. So, comedian, huh? How'd that start? How'd that happen? You just funny in school or like?
I think.
This is not a career, by the way, that most people are like, "Hey, I'm going to go to college to be a comedian."
Really quick, don't do this at home.
No, please don't do it at home. Because if you do it at home, you'll have a YouTube channel and that'll be and people will be watching you instead of us.
Don't do this at home.
Don't do this at all.
I think when I was younger, I had a tough time finding my niche. You know, I tried sports, and I tried
Dude,
school.
you're like 5'3".
I am. Well, I'm 5'8". I'm
Me
5'8"
too.
and like 3/4.
We're still pocket people.
Yeah, man. Listen, short guys are in.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
What he says.
It ended up being my personality. You know, the kids would tell me, "Hey, Dorian, you got a good sense of humor. We think you're funny. You might want to try and, you know, see where this goes, see where it takes you." And even with that, it ended up carrying me on to getting on stage. And it was messed up because I had anxiety, speech anxiety, like most of my childhood until my young
It's interesting you say that. I think a lot of creative artists find themselves, they're at home, we're kind of introverted. We're all like kind of like, just lock the door, leave me alone, turn that camera on, and it's magic.
Yeah.
Turn that camera off for me and it's even more magic, because then I go away and people are happier. I make people happy by leaving. No.
You're good.
So, when was your first professional gig?
My first professional gig, I had to be at least 18, and it was in Cocoa Beach. And an older friend of mine, who's also a comedian, his name's Duncan J.
Duncan J.
Yes, he booked me for an event to open up for him in Cocoa.
Awesome.
And yeah, 18 years old. Man.
That's what this community is all about, is helping each other out, helping get to the next step. Where are you playing right now?
I will be actually in the Melbourne Square Mall the 20th.
Okay.
That day for Dillard's. The
Awesome.
the holiday performances. Melbourne Square is having this series of holiday
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you look for in material? just observational humor? Is it just
Good question.
What kind of stuff do you look for when you're putting
So when I
material
first
together?
started, I was just trying to figure out how to write a joke. But what I figured out was a lot of comedians who are great, the great comedians, they pour out so much of their insecurities and so much of themselves into their work to where they become the work. When you go to, when you were to go to a Carlin show, you know what he's going to talk about because you know who he is on stage and who he was on stage, and that's how he was throughout his career. Richard Pryor was the same way. So me, I'm at this point where I'm discovering who I am, and I'm just pouring it all out on stage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's creative arts are. I tell people all the time. As a journalist, we tell facts.
Right.
I want to tell people about you, the where to find you, and that kind of thing. As an artist, we tell truth.
Right. Yeah.
Truth is funny.
Truth.
We are funny creatures.
Yeah.
And if we do it right, you get your truth out, and you get to make people laugh and entertain them at the same time.
That's what I'm about.
It's catharsis.
Yeah. It's a different time, especially in the stand-up comedy world, because and me just saying this, some people are out there that are not comedians are actually writing the jokes for us. There's people who are in positions of power, people who are, not supposed to be doing these abnormal things, who are
And
literally...
it's funny.
And it's very funny. These people,
Frightening, but funny.
Very frightening. Society is becoming, it's becoming very frightening, So, what do the comedians have left to do? They are writing the jokes for us, but at the same time, it's like there's more pressure on stand-up comedians to be not even approaching that line that people think that we're not supposed to cross.
Yeah. Well, art takes these kind of in these cycles.
Right.
Okay. And so early on, there were subjects that were taboo, even for comics. So they just couldn't talk about these things. And then it was the great comics in the 60s and the 70s, and they twisted those barriers. And in the 50s and 60s, you had Lenny Bruce, and you had these comics that were out there pushing to that next level.
Right.
And now we're in an era when, there's more things that are taboo. It's going to be your generation of comics that comes up and pushes those barriers back and shows us that we have to laugh at ourselves. Yeah. We are ridiculous animals.
Yeah, we're horrible.
We are.
Absolutely
everything we do, from the creative arts to our business lives to our love. Don't get a comic started on your love life. We are ridiculous animals.
Oh, yeah.
You have to laugh.
You have to.
You have to. Performing on stage. You said you started out with performance anxiety, really not wanting to speak in front of people. What were the challenges? What did you do to get over that anxiety?
I'll tell you, the first time I ever spoke in front of people, I was in the 11th grade. I believe I was 16 or 17, and my teacher was having this poetry slam, and we're supposed to use, onomatopoeia and different types of grammar to help us learn for our standardized tests. And she needed a guest student to MC the event. And at that point, I said, you know what? I don't know how much more time I'm going to waste and live my life with this fear of mine. It's a desire in my heart. I know I can do it. No matter how much work it may take, all it takes is me just getting up there. So I rose my hand, and that's what really got me.
That moment.
It was the fear itself pushed me on stage to actually speak in front of people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, that first time out, they hand you a microphone, you're going to MC. You standing there.
I wasn't standing. I was shaking.
Yeah, I was going to say, your mom and dad, everybody's mom and dad.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole class, the whole school is sitting there, and you're standing there with a mic. From anxiety.
Just like that, actually.
Just like that. That's right. This is what I do every day. And so, when was it that you knew that standing there with a mic, and when did that melt away, and you felt like this is my place, this is where I belong?
It had to be
I just want to know, because when that happens to me, I want to recognize.
It had to be my the talent show. My school had this talent show. My high school had this talent show, and
And where are you from?
I was born in Cocoa Beach, but I was raised in Palm Bay. So Palm Bay is like, you'll hear me scream Palm Bay all
Palm
day.
Bay High?
Palm Bay School. No, Palm Bay. I'm from the city of Palm Bay. I went to Heritage High School.
Heritage High School. Okay.
Graduated in 2014.
Awesome.
We had our talent show 2 months or 3 months before we graduated, and when I got on that stage, I could just hear the entire class, the entire school, screaming my name and just encouraging me to, like, Dorian, you got it. You can do this. You know, because I took other steps, like doing TV production, musical theater. There's always been desires of mine. It's just getting out there. You know, there's a lot of talented people out there.
There are
who never stepped on stage. Who
no,
have never stepped on stage.
Coming from a creative arts background as an author myself, I will talk to 100 people a day that will say, you know, I was going to write a book once. And you talk to 1,000 people who are like, you know, man, you're funny, man. I was thinking about, you know, doing that once.
Yeah.
A lot of people will think about it. A lot of people pulling the trigger, taking that next step, making that dream come true. That's a hard thing to do. Yeah. That's a hard thing to do. And it's hard, especially you're doing comedy, you're out there, you put yourself out there. You are the product. Rejection is harsh.
Oh, yeah.
All right? And you're on YouTube now.
Oh, yeah.
People anonymously send comments. They are not nice people. There are 3 of them, and they have like 773 million different IP addresses so that they can hit you over and over and over again, make you feel bad about yourself. Yeah. So that's part of the gig, though. So what can you say? What was the heckler that shut you down just long enough for you to have to get over it? What's the first heckler that you were like, really? Really? I'm doing my thing here, man.
Man.
Do you ever get one that just kind of knocked you off your balance a little bit?
If I can remember correctly, I think my mom came to a show I was doing.
Oh, man, this is going to get harsh. This story gets bad. Mom, you shut him down?
I think my mom came to a show I was doing, and, like, I don't know, this is why you should never leave dead air when you're speaking.
Yeah,
yeah. And she said something like, she was like, that's not true. And I was like, okay. I was like, whoa, I don't really know what to say now.
And there's my whole act. I'm done. Thank you, Mom.
I was like, thank you, guys. My name's Dorian Gayle. I'm gonna that's where I went to.
Thanks, Ma. Yeah.
But my parents, they definitely show support. So.
Do they? Was there a moment when they kind of looked at you and they were like, okay, you've chosen a tough road, boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when was that moment when they saw you for the first time and they thought, you know what? Yeah, you chose a tough road. You're going to make it. You're going to be all right.
The moment where we had the
I always tried not to blow my son's egos up when they were in school. Oh, no. So they acted and they did music and everything else. And the best compliment they could get from Dad was, that didn't suck. And I just didn't want him to get big heads.
Yeah, right.
There was a moment at once I went to a school play and my son came out and he was singing and I'd never heard him sing before. I heard him play trumpet, I heard him do a lot of things. He belted out this line and I sat there, I had tears in my eyes. I walked up to him afterwards and I told him, that didn't suck. So when's that moment when Dad tells you, that didn't suck?
I think
you're going to make it.
I think I was 18.
18?
And he came to open mic I was doing. And I had a joke about him, like, telling me he was my father, like Darth Vader or something like that. And he was like, that's good.
That's good, yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
That's all he said. He didn't say anything else.
You didn't need anything else, though, right? You don't need anything else. At that moment, you're like, hey, all right, I made Dad laugh.
I was like, frick, yeah. I mean,
yeah. Dads spend a lot of time trying to make everybody else laugh, and we're not very good at it sometimes. So, all right, okay. So you got a little bit. What you got? How long are your bits that you do?
Right now, I'm working on headlining sets, so anything from 45 minutes to an hour. That's all in my team. We're just targeting that for 2019.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're working on building up to that headlining.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
And the thing about me is, I do a lot of impressions. Like, I got 3 comedians.
What's your best impression?
Impressions of. My best impression, and this guy, I admire him, Chris Rock.
You can do Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
All right, we get a little Chris Rock?
Yeah, we can get Chris Rock.
We get a little Chris Rock?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
You guys check his sound. All right, good. All right, let's see what we got.
I'm
I mean, you coming here talking about what you got going on, sitting in the mall with the dealers, went to Macy's. I mean, I don't even have $1, okay? A little bit of Chris Rock.
That don't suck. That's good stuff, man. Awesome, man. Dorian, thank you so much, man.
It's a pleasure.
That is fantastic.
It's a pleasure.
We're going to wrap it up, guys. As we do, we're going to thank our partners and our friends over at Something Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio over on Blog Talk Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Pound the Grape right here in the Melbourne Square Mall, our great friend Josh Bauer at jbauerart.com. Pick up some art there. Brevard County Renaissance Fair. We're going to be out there for 3 weeks come 1st of 2019. So come on out and check us out. Here's some great music. You want some material? Spend a week at the Ren Fair, Men in Kilts, all weekend long, brother.
Really?
When you leave there, you will have more material than you know what to do with.
Men in kilts?
Men in kilts.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. When I took a trip to Scotland on my ambassador trip.
See that? Come back with a lot of material.
Yep.
That's right. So come on out and join us out there, brother. We've been hanging out with comedian and YouTuber Dorian Gayle. We're going to put links down below so you can go over and check out his channel. Make sure you subscribe. Come on over and check out some comedy. What made you think to put all your stuff to go on YouTube? It's like, I know it's like the thing everybody does now, but I was just wondering. I want to get inside the mind of a young YouTuber. What made you think to come on YouTube?
Well, I just needed a way to gain people's attention. That's all.
Which is exactly what happens to all of us on YouTube. We needed a way to get your attention.
Attention span is that you just lost it, by the way.
He's gone. That guy left.
That's how fast
he
your attention.
walked out in the middle of our bit.
I got it again.
Got it again? Grab him in? All right. Remember, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next. Awesome, guys. Boom. There it is.
Awesome.